Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975 got PM'd a question, quite an obvious question, but I haven't actually stopped to properly, pause for thought, think about it, and, well, actually chew the cud, if you will, and that's, am I going to go next gen? And, yeah, now I want to ask a slightly different question, based on my thoughts on this, but that is, was gaming a more fun and innocent experience back in the day? Did gaming companies or console manufacturers treat us or afford us a little bit more respect back in the day? Now, I know when we say, we talk about our experiences back in the day, we're going to look at them with, rose-tinted, warm, fuzzy, nostalgic, glasses and stuff like that. I know that. But because of this question and thinking about it, and specifically I'm going to talk about the Mega Drive and, my Super Famicom sort of era, high school. But yeah, I know that we're going to look back through, as I said, with these great nostalgic memories, but I do honestly think that it was more fun, more innocent, and that we were afforded a lot more respect than what we have now, and more so, and this is what this question made me think about, and I can give you my answer right now. I'm not going next gen. Where gaming is going, with all these patents being filed by Microsoft and Sony, the ability to monitor people in the room, like Microsoft, Sony's anti-piracy chip thingy doohickey, whether these things are implemented or not, I don't know, it is hearsay, but and if we focus what we have now, which is online codes. If you buy a second-hand game, you have to buy another online code. The fact that you don't even get manuals anymore, it is going. This may sound like a strong term as far as I'm concerned, quite Orwellian. And I understand that the technology available to do these things exists now. So if it existed back in the day, in this period I'm talking about, maybe things would have happened then. I don't know. Obviously what you can do or don't do regarding hardware is very dependent on the time period it comes out, because it's reliant on the technology. But you got to remember, back in the day, this period, the Mega Drive and the SNES, gaming was well established here. I mean, gaming had been kicking off since the very late 70s. So by the time I got to the 90s, it's not a new thing, it's not a new fad. But the way I see it was, back then, alright, don't get me wrong, I know they're not innocent. I know they took the piss with their prices, and they definitely fleeced us with the consoles. What was the Mega Drive when it was released? I paid 189 quid for mine, I think, in either 1989 or 1990. I'm not saying they're innocent, and I understand that they were obsessed with, profit then as much as they are now. But at the same time, it seemed to me that they just wanted control of the market, whereas with all these patents and shit that's going on, or looks like it's coming in on the cusp of the next gen, seems they want control of you. They want control of your shopping habits, which ultimately will determine your gaming habits. You can only buy new games, will have a massive knock-on effect for your gaming. You won't be able to take your games over a mate's house. You won't be able to rent a game, you won't be able to buy a second-hand game. You can only buy a new game. You can't get rid of it. Ultimately, you'll just have to throw it away if you don't want it anymore. So immediately, a very large aspect of the social nature of gaming is being removed there. But if you looked upon it in the period, back then, the Mega Drive and the Super Famicom, it was practically what you did. It was encouraged. You'd go over your mate's house after school. Renting games was absolutely huge. It was a given that games were expensive, and that's what you did. You rented your video games. I just seem to think that, I don't know, they were fighting more amongst themselves, for control of the market, more so than to dictate and determine your gaming habits. They seem to be a little bit more appreciative just that you bought their system, or you were loyal to them, or you were buying their games. That was it. That to me is why I ultimately think that it was a more fun, innocent experience. There was none of this sort of heavy policing, Big Brother politics bollocks that has no place in gaming anyway. I mean, when did this happen? I'm pretty sure it's something to do with EA. But yeah, so what do you think? Was not just because you retro game, or or you have nostalgic memories for it, but do you think gaming was a far more innocent, and fun experience back in the day? And as I said, gaming wasn't a new thing in the 90s, so it's not that it was a fad and they didn't want to stand on anyone's toes by doing these things. It was around. But yeah, I don't know, I honestly think that might actually go down as the golden era of gaming, and what's to come it's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to be nice. I think it is going in a direction that ultimately will be very unhealthy for it. People before profit It's an old phrase, and I think a lot of these companies would do well to remember that. Anyway, yeah, what do you think? I'd love to know. Sorry, waffling, incoherent. And yeah, as I said, I'm not going next gen. I am not buying whatever Sony or Microsoft's console is. You know, I'm not doubting that they might be amazing, that the games might be utterly fantastic, but I'm taking a stand against the approach they're taking to it. As for the Wii U, I don't consider it next gen, but that's not a bad thing. If anything, I consider it possibly the last traditional console, which is A, a brilliant thing, and B, also quite a sad thing. But that's not Nintendo's fault. That's, you know, where the industry is going. But I may get one, I may not. I'm not against it. It's just, I mean, I didn't plan on getting a Wii and I ended up with one. It just doesn't appeal to me right now. But yeah, anyway, sorry, off topic again. Actually, let's tackle on another question. So yeah, do you think it was a more fun, innocent experience back then? Do you think we were respected more as a consumer? And are you going next gen? Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.